Well, good evening, DirtFish friends. Welcome back to the DirtFish house here on the banks of the Douro River with the Atlantic Ocean, the waves crashing on the breakwall behind us. But listen, folks, we have had a wonderful Rally Portugal. It was wonderful in many, many ways. It was wonderful in that it felt like a return to some sense of normality. 330 or so kilometres. It really was a proper rally. Fans out in the stages, and once again, great action for us to all enjoy. Tell you what we'll do, David, before I bring you in. You're looking very intent there. And you brushed your hair, I think, as well.
You told me to focus on what you were talking about, Colin. I'm focused.
You are focused. Let's go through our top 10 then, at the end of this year's Rally of Portugal. So our winners of this year's Rally Portugal, it's the fourth win of his career. Alvin Evans takes the 25 points. Danny Sordo, a very creditable second place. Sebastian Ogier is third. Katsuta-san, the best result of his career, in fourth. Gus Greensmith is in fifth. Adrian Formeau is in sixth. Esa-Pekka Lappi, the first of the R5 cars, in seventh. Timo Sunonen was in eighth. Mads Osberg, with a number of problems over the weekend, scored good points in ninth. And Nikolai Gryazan was the car that rounded out our top 10. So David, as I said, a really good weekend here, a sense of a return to normality in terms of the actual staging of the event. But let's talk first about Alvin Evans, the winner of this year's Rally Portugal, because he did a magnificent job for his team out there, didn't he?
He did a fantastic job, and we said it all weekend. We still haven't seen the best of him. You know, I don't believe that he's hit the absolute pinnacle of his performance yet, and he's still picking up points. He's picking up wins here. But, you know, for me this morning, I think that first stage, it must have been close to the best of Alvin Evans. He went in there, you know, absolutely driven, no doubt fired up slightly by Andrea Adamo's comments last night, telling Danny Sordo he was going to win this rally. You know, Alvin's finished second 6 times in his career. Enough. You know, he didn't want a seventh. And
there was a danger of a little bit of a tag developing, wasn't there? You know, final day choker, you know, second place Alvin. But he absolutely laid that to rest in that opening stage this morning. As you say, you know, Andrea Adamo, he made those comments to you last night. He was very forceful. He didn't just tell Sordo to win. He said, "I've had enough of this. You know, it's not just we've got the fastest car. We have to win this rally."
You can understand that frustration. You know, for the first 6 or 7 stages, they'd been top 3, 1, 2, 3, and you know they had Toyota on the ropes, didn't they? And you would have to say ultimately Hyundai dropped this one.
They did.
They should have won this.
Our very wise cameraman, stroke producer, stroke editor, Gary, made quite a good point. He did. He did. He suggested that maybe Adamo's, because Adamo's a very clever man. He sells himself.
He's way cleverer than you and I, isn't he?
Well, he says I'm a poor Italian immigrant living in Germany. That's absolute nonsense. He is a rally strategist. That is for sure. And the point that Gary, our very clever cameraman and editor director, made was that maybe it was a deliberate effort to wind Alvin up. And you know what? He succeeded in winding him up because he got the best out of Alvin, so he succeeded and he failed.
Well, absolutely he failed, didn't he? Because, you know, it brought the best out of Alvin. You know, as intelligent as both Andrea Adamo and Gary are, I don't think so. You know, it was just a real heat of the moment. Quote from Andrea, as I say, you know, hugely frustrated, understandably frustrated, and I think, you know, clearly that the policy or the idea of what he wanted from Sordo changed overnight, didn't it? Because by this morning, you know, go out there, win the rally, don't come home without first place, had evolved into drive as you want, but bring it home.
Bring it home. You know, the most important thing, don't forget, Sordo was put in a very difficult position by clearly the mistake that was made by Thierry Neuville on the Friday evening, knocked him out of the rally, and then that very strange, we're going to call it a suspension failure, we'll come on to that, David, suspension failure for Tanak yesterday afternoon. Sordo had enormous pressure on him to deliver, and he did. He delivered as he always does. He's as good, I've said it before,
but he didn't.
He did deliver.
He was supposed to deliver the win.
Oh, come on, a guy, you can't, I just think that is so unrealistic. To have a
professional driver.
Yeah, 100%. I know he's a professional driver. He is paid as a part-time professional driver.
Okay.
He comes in. His last event was Monte Carlo, an event he's never liked. He comes in, months out the car, limited testing, gets in, He's expected to win rallies. No, he's not. The third driver in any setup is there as the insurance policy. And yeah, the best insurance policy you can have is a driver that every time he gets in the car is capable of winning.
I will. Yeah, I'll take that. But I think it's not. It's not unrealistic to expect Danny Sordo to win. He's won twice on gravel, admittedly from preferential places, starting positions on the road. But Sordo is a fighter and he is capable of winning. We've seen that
he
before.
will be in Sardinia.
But that first stage did for him. It did for him immediately. As soon as he went in there and he didn't feel the car, we've said this 100 times, Danny is a confidence driver who needs to feel the car underneath him immediately from corner one. He needs to know the car is going to stick. The minute you get some changeable grip levels, he's finished. And
the problem is his safe mode is just a little bit too safe. It goes back a little too far. He doesn't make mistakes in the grip change scenarios, but he throttles back. He goes into safe mode, and it's not a safe mode.
He's not somebody who's going to risk everything.
That's it.
And put it all on the line. And he knew. This is a very wise Danny Sordo who's been around for a good few years now, and he knew he had to deliver points for Hyundai.
And that's exactly what Sordo did. We're kind of skipping about a bit, but what we've done is we've talked about our winner, Alvin Evans, and we'll go back to him. We've talked about our second place driver, Danny Sordo. Let's talk about our third place driver then, Sebastian Ogier. He came in to the event leading the championship, first on the road. He leaves the event leading the championship, albeit with a reduced lead. Does mean he'll be first on the road again in Sardinia, which, if anything, is more punishing than first on the road here. But a strange weekend. I'm in the middle of writing my driver ratings, David, and
give us a sneak preview. What's Sebastian going to get?
I've given him 7 out of 10 because, and I've said, well, maybe it's a little bit harsh, but do you know what? He did a good job on Friday, but you made the point. Well, it wasn't a great job.
Thierry did a great job, didn't he?
Thierry did a great job. Saturday, he couldn't shake off Takamoto Katsuta, and that's unusual.
But did he want to shake off Takamoto? I'm not sure.
Well, there is that.
And equally, if you look at the biggest difference, I would imagine in the grip on the road on day one comes from first to second, doesn't it? Because first on the road, you sit in everything.
Yeah.
You get the worst of everything. So maybe it is a little bit harsh.
Maybe a little bit harsh.
But he did a very consistent job, didn't he? He kind of came through the event.
So I'm going to go and change it before we publish it to 8 out of 10.
Give him 7.5.
Am I allowed to give halves? You've never told me that before.
I give him a half.
7.5. 7.5 out of 10. But at the end of the day, Ogier knows how to construct a title-winning performance, which is what it is. And you know what? Alvin Evans has driven alongside Ogier for quite a few years now, and he is learning from Ogier. He's learning from the very best. He knows it's about consistency. He knows that when he's having a bad weekend, he can't just forget about it and say, I don't care, and drop it off the road. He has to deliver the points, and Ogier is the absolute master.
We talked about this, didn't we, before the event? We talked about the fact that Thierry had finished third. If he continued to finish third, pick up some power stage, he would be world champion. Ogier has done the maths. You said he did it in first time in 2017. 18 points per rally will get you the championship.
And how many did he score here?
18 points.
He did. He absolutely did. Takamoto Katsuta.
Genius. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Just an absolute delight. And, we made the comment to him at the end that he came across the finish line in fourth. There was no huge celebration.
You're kind of thinking this is the best performance by a Japanese driver
for me, that's...
Sorry, I touched your knee. Best, have we had a Japanese driver finishing fourth in the championship before?
Maybe with Toshiarai.
Maybe if we go back and look at the record.
But for me, that's a mark of where he now sees himself. Fourth was nice. He wants fourth. He wants a podium now.
He really does.
And then he wants to win. And it's great to see. But what really, really is impressive, I think he touched the Armco in a stage somewhere. But
Amarante too.
But otherwise, just never
Before that, the cameras missed it. He did smack a log on the rear right side in the same stage. It was a scruffy stage, but he knows where he makes mistakes. And the thing that's impressive about Takamoto is that he is again delivering now stage times. He's putting those stage times into results. He's making small mistakes. He knows that more can come. He knows that he could be doing better. And I don't think this aspiration for a podium place is unrealistic. I also don't think that if we do go to Japan at the end of the year, I would not write him off as a potential winner in Japan at the end of the year.
Colin.
No, I absolutely would not.
But I mean, can you imagine the pressure on his shoulders then.
I think he will revel in it. I think
You
he's
think?
the most impressive
He'll rise
young
to the challenge.
I think he really will. I really do. I think he will.
Well, let's hope. Let's absolutely hope we get the chance to see.
What we can talk about now, David,
Yeah.
are the two M Sport cars. By the way, folks, have you yet seen our limited edition M Sport DirtFish T-shirts? If you haven't, click that link. Click that link there, because they really are rather pleasant. You can order one for yourself. The two M Sport drivers. Another massively encouraging weekend for the team and for their two youngsters.
Undoubtedly, great performance. There were some niggles, some throttle issues along the way, but again, they both looked really sure-footed, confident, quick performance, and great to see that. It's so refreshing, isn't it, to see Gus delivering, the sort of pace that we knew. It just needed unlocking.
And do you know what? I've watched Gus Greensmith for a number of years. I covered the British Championship in 2016, I think it was. And he was in the juniors then, and he was, in terms of his pace, not in terms of his results, but in terms of his pace, he was the standout performer then.
He's not scared of it, is he?
He's not scared of it.
He's a brave lad, and he clearly has the natural talent to deliver.
I think he's one of those that when you're in class, there are some really bright kids in class.
Most of them are brighter than me.
More bright than you, perhaps. But some of them are bright, but you get frustrated with them because some of them just refuse to learn. They refuse to listen. They're a little bit distracted at times.
He's listening now.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got a new teacher, hasn't he?
He's got a new teacher.
He's scared of the new
his
teacher.
attitude in class has changed, and that potential is coming out. And I'm
Would you be scared of Chris Patterson? I would be.
I
would listen to Chris.
I had one run in with Chris Patterson, and I'll tell you, it was scary. It was scary, I'll tell you.
No, it is working. And Adrian Formo, how stupid were we? We've said this a few times. Rewind to the start of the event. Colin, can you see that Croatian face being replayed?
No,
not a hope. Look at what he's done. Brilliant. And just, again, real confident drive and really, for me, we asked him the question today, was this a better result than what he did in Croatia? And for me, maybe it was.
Maybe it was. But another driver who is super intelligent, super keen, and has massive potential, hinting to us that maybe his next outing might be in Kenya. That would be exciting.
He certainly hoped to be in Kenya.
Yeah, it'll be great to see that. It'll be great to see that. If we go further down our top 10 in our WRC cars, we really have to briefly mention Kalirov and Perret. It was a rally to forget for him. It was a strangely off-colour event, and were we expecting too much, David, after that big?
He was definitely disappointed. He looked at these next two events, two gravel rallies. Bizarrely now, even though he's only been in the car for one full season, and it wasn't even a full season, was it, last year?
No.
We expect him to deliver on all the gravel rallies. Rather worryingly, he said this afternoon that he felt, looking at these two events, Portugal was the one that he felt he would go better on. Doesn't really get on with Sardinia. Really, was struggled here.
He did.
Struggled.
I thought he did.
Maybe there was a hangover from Croatia. He said absolutely not. Bizarre incident on Saturday afternoon.
Well, he turned the car around.
Absolutely refused steadfastly to tell us exactly what it was. But we'll move on. Let's see.
Okay, well, and if we go even further down our top 10, then we come across somewhere way down. We come across Tanak and we come across Neuville.
Yeah.
What do we make? Let's start with Tanak. What do we make of Tanak's performance? I thought he was magnificent on Friday. I thought he was magnificent on Saturday. By all accounts,
Saturday morning.
Enormous disappointments, in that he should have taken maybe 30 points from this event. Certainly at least the 25 for the win. Enormous disappointment, no question about that. But he seems to have found a little bit of something in that car that makes him a proper threat now.
He seems to be finding it. I asked him this afternoon, are you nearly there? And he said there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
So I said, do we come out of the tunnel in Sardinia? Maybe.
What he said, what Tanak has told us many times, is that in the Toyota and to a degree in the M Sport car, everything just came naturally. He didn't have to think about anything. It just happened. For the last 18 months, he's had to be thinking about driving, thinking about how to make that car go more quickly.
Yeah.
On Saturday, there was a glimpse of that natural ability, that natural talent.
It just came, didn't it? It all just flowed. And again, another mystery, about what happened second time through Amarante. There was nothing obvious.
No, that seems to be the case. We talked about it this morning, and I went, it is the most common phrase we hear after.
I didn't hit anything.
I didn't hit anything, Gov. It wasn't me. I didn't hit anything. But it does appear, that potentially was a suspension failure.
We just got to be
would
very.
Would that worry Toyota?
Of course it would.
With a rough event, not Toyota, Hyundai.
Well, who knows? Because, you know, we're very fortunate in that Andrea Adamo gave us such a full explanation. Of exactly what the problem was.
David, when I need a stress engineer, I will call you.
Yeah.
Colin, when I need a junior stress engineer, I will call you. What does that mean?
Sorry, where is Andrea from?
He's a poor Italian immigrant living in Italy.
That's an appalling accent.
In Germany.
But no, I think, you know, there will be an explanation. They will understand.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
well,
they will.
won't tell
of course,
us.
he's not going to tell us, but they will know.
Yeah.
It was odd. You know, we were very quick to say, coincidence that it was both on the right rear. Who knows? You know, maybe there was a bad batch of components, something.
Well, no. Listen, what we do know is that Thierry Vils was self-induced.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
100% self-induced. He made a mistake. He was way too quick into a corner. We were at the side of the road with him. He tried very, very hard to fix that issue.
Yeah.
About 45 minutes, I think they spent 50 minutes trying to fix it. What can we say about Neuville? 3 podiums and then a mistake, and a mistake in the making of the pace notes. That's unusual, you know. It's one that really, at the point he's at in his career, you really don't. It is
unusual.
You don't want to see that.
And you know, particularly a driver of his, like you say, you know, the amount of experience that he's got. It's you can't, you know, I think we're past talking about the new partnership and everything. It's just one of those things. Every now and then, you know, we were talking about the mistake that Evans had in Corsica, you know, when he hit that pothole and it cost him the win there. It was simply because there was a car parked covering the pothole that he hit.
When he passed,
you know, and these things can happen on a recce, and every now and then, and it just it sharpens your knife, doesn't it, for the next one? That really it's not going to happen again.
Well, I think the Hyundai knife is now razor sharp. You know, Adamo has said. He said to me, you know, how many rallies are there to go between now and the end of the year? You know, they can win them all. They're looking to win all of the rallies.
The car's got pace, hasn't it?
Exactly. They've got certainly road position in the next couple of rallies to help them, and they have to. They have to if they want to win the manufacturers. Sadly, I think the Drivers' Championship looks to be heading Toyota's way. Early to call that, but my goodness, you wouldn't bet against it being another Evans and Ogier showdown towards the end of the year. I'm very likely to be proven wrong, but right now that's how it's looking for me. Anyway, let's see what happens there. Support championships, David. Now we're going to test you because you've committed to memory. WRC2.
Easy one. Esa-Pekka.
Dominant performance from Esa-Pekka.
Really good though as well, wasn't it? You know, he set his stall out. He's delivering. He's doing what Andreas Mikkelsen said he wanted to do at the start of the year. Yeah, he's dominating.
Dominating with really impressive performance.
And looking so comfortable in the car, you know, at every point, you know, when Teemu found some pace, another gear from Esa-Pekka, he could match him, and
he's always been a very special driver, Esa-Pekka Lappi, with I think massive natural ability and speed. Unfortunately, he's got nothing confirmed for the rest of the year. Let's keep our fingers crossed that he does find some budget, he does find the drive, and then potentially there are options next year for him. Great performance from him. WRC 3.
Kaito Kaitanovic.
In a fantastic battle with
Johan Rossell.
It went right down to the wire, didn't
Chris
it?
Ingram third.
Chris Ingram third, and we have to give Chris Ingram real credit for that. You know, he's come to a rally for the first time, set some great times, won some stages on the final day. Ingram is building nicely to mix things up in that category this year. But Kaito Kaitanovic. But again, his first time here apparently, was that right?
I think
it was. I think it was in Portugal. So really good in performance from him. And then we had the juniors. David.
Martin Sesks.
Really well done.
Thank you very much.
Who won the most stages in the juniors?
Not John
Might be.
Armstrong.
I don't know.
Yeah, Colin.
I don't know. I'll tell you what. Let us know.
Answers on a postcard.
Answers on a postcard. But yeah, really a great event, and congratulations to all the winners in all the categories. We saw some great competitions.
Congratulations as well to the organisers.
I think so. I really think so.
Superb event.
The facilities were great.
It's funny, isn't it? You know, I was making notes and stuff today, and one of the things you kind of forget, we're back into 3.5 hours plus of competition time, which we haven't had. Longest rally since?
Germany 2019.
Well done, Colin. How long was that one?
350 kilometres.
247.
Almost 350. Who cares about a kilometre or two? Can't say that in rallying, can you?
Certainly can't.
David, highlight of the weekend?
I would have to say the absolute privilege of standing in FAF this morning. First time through, standing and watching the cars come. I mean, you know, one thing we have to say, we were standing a long way back from the jump itself, but just, you know, I've longed to be there, and you know, the job was never allowed. You know, you've always got to be at the final service or whatever, but today it was just fantastic to be among all of those people. And the way that the cars, you know, you said it's a sort of, it distorts a little bit the distance that we were away, but they just seemed to hang, didn't they, in there? It was just awesome.
Hung in the air? They hang.
They hang.
You're the words.
They were in the air for a long time.
Yeah, they
oh no,
hovered.
this is a good time. This is a good point for you to raise that aerodynamic question that you. Come on, Colin.
Yeah, no, well, we discussed, didn't we? David said, oh, well, in the olden days, with the old WRC cars, they'd have flown a lot further.
No, I said the R5 cars should fly further.
Cars, yeah, you said they should fly further. You're saying that the aero is forcing them to the ground. And my analogy was ski jumpers. You know, ski jumpers, because you've got so much, they put their arms out and the legs go out to give them that extra lift as the air gets underneath all the aero. Does it hold it up for longer?
Where's our director of marketing? Where is Trevor Wirt at the point we really need him? He was a member of the US ski jumping team.
He really was.
He would know. I think
know.
I'm going to ask him.
And I'm going to ask someone who knows a bit about aerodynamics.
Yeah.
But folks, it has been, my highlight of the weekend was also, I think, going to FAF today. Although I have had the fortune of being there before. It was great to see crowds back out. Great to see crowds behaving themselves. Great having you with us this weekend at the Rally of Portugal. You don't have to wait that long.
See you next week.
Event. Next week,
It's always a good WRC round when you say see you next week, isn't it?
Well, yeah, 5 days and I'm heading off to Sardinia. Sardinia is next up, folks. DirtFish.com is the only place to be for all the very best news coming from this man.
And this man.
Well, I do my very best to feed the news to our wordsmith. Folks, thank you for joining us here. The Dirtfish house looking out over the Atlantic Ocean.
Is our place going to be as good in Sardinia?
Just you wait and see, David Evans. Thanks, folks, for joining us. We'll see you in the not too distant future.